Alrighty, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Alrighty,
Here we are.
morning,
This is,
ladies. Let me just turn off the other thing. This is Hairymuppet. Welcome back to Factorio. So I'm just still setting up things a little bit. I've got a nice little microphone icon that I need to make sure is in a nice visible place on my screen so I can keep an eye on it because yeah, for some reason in a past thing, it actually turned off for a little while and it just stayed off for like 10 minutes. So I spent money on this whole fantastic new actual push to mute application and then it just sort of crapped itself. So anyway, that's beside the point. I've got the icon here, so if it accidentally mutes itself for 10 minutes at a time, then we are just going to have to deal with it. So what we are doing today is we're going to continue on with building up our blueprint book. We've already got a bunch of these. We've got a basic grid and we've got them locked to the actual coordinate system so we can just move them around wherever we want. And we've got a straight rail, which we can turn vertically as well. We've got a curve rail, we've got a T intersection, and we've got a four-way intersection. All of them fully signaled up, all totally rotatable, all totally put them wherever you want on any block, blah, blah, blah. And now we're going to get to what is arguably the hardest block to design, which is going to be the station. So yeah, this is what I want the station to look like. We're going to squeeze them in nice and tight. But now we just actually need to get the rails. How many rails? I've got a decent amount. All right. So what I want here is, I've been planning this in my mind, but I'm not sure exactly how it's going to go. Yeah, let's, because here's the thing, like that's a curve that you have to do. Like that's as far, that's the best curve you can get, which is not great. And I'm wondering, yeah, because the problem is if we go like this, if we turn left and then do a stacker going this direction and then do the stations going this direction, I mean, the curves take a lot of space. We can't do a sharp curve. It's very, very difficult. So we have to kind of work it a little bit. And we definitely do want a stacker. And I would prefer not to be messing with these roboports. I mean, if I'm have to move the power poles, that's okay. But yeah. All right. Here's what we're going to start off doing. We're going to, because this is the exit row. So we're going to do this, this, and then this. Okay, that looks beautiful. And then this one goes up like that. So that is our exit row. And usually, for a straight rail, okay, so we can just put these here. Technically that's an intersection, but I don't think we really need to worry about chain signals too much. And we'll have a signal there. And then we'll drag this one all the way up around the side. And that could be our exit. So when the train's exiting the station, it just goes down there and then it joins on normally using the left-hand thing. All right, beautiful. Now we need to work out, okay, here's how we're going to do it, I think. We're going to move these two up. This is actually, I just had a really, really good idea. We're going to move these two up like this. Because I've been thinking that the stacker needs to go from the bottom to the top, which makes doing the 180s very, very tight and difficult. What I'm realizing is that we don't actually need the stacker to go from the bottom to the top. We can have the stacker go from the top to the bottom. And then that gives us a bunch more space. Okay. And then we have here Oh. And this will be our stacker. And we can do one more spot. And then this will be where our stations start a lot there. So, all right, here's... Now let's actually see how much room we give ourselves here. Okay, no, that's enough. That's enough for a 1-2 train. We're probably going to use 1-1 trains, but 1-2 trains are absolutely... We would like to have room for 1-2 trains just in case. All right. So... basically, I always forget which side we kind of want here. 6, 7, 8, 9. That's about all we can do. That's about all we can fit, to be honest. So I think that should be enough though. 9, a stacker with 9 trains in it is probably going to be overkill for just this sort of station, but yeah. Now, we don't have any signals on here because we want them to be stuck in the stacker. Oh. Oh. That's not giving me as much room as I thought. This one is, but these aren't. Okay, we might have to separate these out a little bit more. Oh. Let me just delete this. So if I delete that. Okay. Alright. That's too much. So this one was all the way back here. Alright, that's a little bit better. And that's definitely enough room. So you have a chain signal there, you have a chain signal here. And basically get rid of these, all of these. And then you have a chain signal here, and we have a normal signal right at the start to separate these into separate blocks. All right. We'll get rid of all of these, and then so it's probably a little bit less. We've kind of left we're doing all right though. That's still plenty of six stackers. I kind of like that. That's pretty good. Now here's what I really want. I want as many stations as possible. We want to have maximum amount of stations, which means this railroad port is a little bit annoying, but okay. I wonder which is better, which is to start up here and go there, or start all the way there and then go down. Either way, the stations are going to end up in the middle somewhere. They're going to end up like this. Which is a little bit annoying. That one we can deal with. That power pole. Yeah. That one's a little bit harder to deal with, but we could still deal with it if we really wanted to. Or what we could do... cut... Alright, so there's 3 there. I definitely want more than just 6, though. Now let's have a look here. Alright. Yeah, I definitely feel like 6 is not enough. I'd love to have 8. 8 would be really nice. Okay, so you go up like that. And you go... I'm going to move this up a little bit more. We may have to start thinking outside the box. We may have to start doing... I don't think vertical, I mean horizontal stations would really help us that much, to be honest. You can't really go any further up, can you? Yeah. So you can go up by 2. And then you... that's a bit awkward. That's quite awkward. And we've kind of... Alright, well here's the thing, right? Alright, let's try. Blueprint with train station cannot be flipped. Okay, but I want to flip it. That's the thing, I want to flip it. Alright. We won't flip it, we'll rotate it. Okay, let's see how this goes. I mean, if we ignore the fact that we want 1-2 trains, that we potentially might want 1-2 trains, then it becomes a bit easier. But we'll see how we go. Alright. So that kind of works out. And we could move this one across by 1. Give us 1 more space. And then this one goes up like that. Should probably be doing research in the background as well. Let's get some of this. Was that fish? Oh god, I hate fish. There were some versions of this mod where modules, ferric chloride solution. Please don't tell me it's locked behind fish. And crystals. Oh god, we got crystals. Maybe just locked behind fish. That would be interesting. And when I interesting, I mean very annoying. But anyway, I have a feeling this power pole is not long for this world. Which is fine. Which is absolutely fine. We can reverse this a little bit. We can have the train station down here and we can send the belt northward. I think I'm okay with that. This kind of looks like... I really don't want to move the roboports. And to be honest, with the way this curve works, if you want these 90-degree curves, you can't really have a station any further right. But I mean, you could. And then you'd kind of just hook it in like this. You press shift. And it kind of works. Maybe we could. It'll look a little bit janky, but yeah, I mean, looking janky is kind of okay. Alright, so anyway, let's assume we're going to have to redo these bits but we'll do those later. Let's just concentrate. Now, actually, yeah, see, that's kind of screwed on getting a 1-2 train. We need a little bit more space. All right, so let's... These power poles maybe not be long for this world either. We may have to start throwing them away. Okay. Where'd my station go? Not quite, not quite. We need a little bit more. Need a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Still, just, okay. Alright. That's good. That's good. Okay, we've got the space we needed. Alright. Yeah, these power poles, they're gonna have to move down by 1, which is fine. Just for this blueprint, it's fine because it doesn't really matter that this particular blueprint is completely rotatable, and well, it will be rotatable, but the power poles will just look weird when it's rotating. But that's not really a big deal. All right, let's just get rid of that one. Let's get rid of those. Alrighty. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, not quite. Not quite the 8th one. No, we can't squeeze that any further over to the right without moving the roboports. And the roboports are... I definitely don't want to be moving. I would love them to just stay where they are. Okay, seven stations. It's okay. It's definitely less than I wanted. I wanted like 8 or 10 at the minimum. We could fit a bunch more over on the right. Definitely we could fit a bunch more over on the right. Squeeze in, I think, 2 more over there. And on here, I don't think we can fit anymore. This angle is just too sharp. I don't think there's anything we can do there. No, I don't. Even if we made the stations fit the other way, we can get in, but then getting out again. Now actually that would work. That'd look kind of janky, to be honest. It would look very janky, but it would work. Alright, let's have a look. We need a bunch more of these train stops. I may need to go up, and I'm not sure if we're actually building them at the moment. You may have to be a little bit more specific, Corn Maze. There are a fair amount of buildings. Are you referring to the robo-ports or the train stations? Yeah, you're gonna have to give me a little bit more information to go on. Where's my train stops? Okay, yeah, that's definitely enough train stops. Good on rails, good on signals. Don't care about the rest of them, but yeah, all right. Yeah, so these are just train stations where the trains stop beside the radar in the middle of the tracks. Okay, well now you've got me completely confused because there aren't any radars in here. Oh, okay. If you're talking about this is a silo. This is basically just a really big chest. It's part of the Bob's Angels mods, not part of vanilla, and yeah, it's pretty much a huge chest. So a normal chest has like 48 slots for a steel one. This has 256, but yeah, it's a huge chest. And the good thing about using a huge chest is you can just offload one wagon into the chest and then unload it directly. It's absolutely beautiful. I'd love it if vanilla had these, but unfortunately vanilla does not. Okay, so we've got another 3 stations here, which we can offload to the north. And then the beautiful thing is this line just continues down here. And now the question is, can this be made? I'm not sure if that can be made. I'm not sure if it can. Some of these, it probably can be made. If we make these stops for only 1-1 trains, then we'll probably be okay. Let's go. But yeah, we're really... Alright. You can be done. And you can be done. And then these guys will just feed back into here. So that gives us 2 extra stations. I don't think we're going to get anything else, unfortunately. Well, I don't think we're going to get this one. That one is just too difficult to get into. So let's forget that one for now. And that means we can move this power pole back to being in the corner position. And then what I'll do is I'll do another 2 over here. And I'm really just trying to absolutely maximize the amount of stations that we have available to us. Because then it gives us so much more flexibility later on in the game. Alright. So these should be easy enough to get back in. They're just going to look a little bit janky. Okay, that didn't work. You kind of want this shift key just does not really help a lot. It kind of helps a little bit, but okay, that looks a lot better. Okay. Done, 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 and done. All right, so now for the signaling, we're going to have a signal for each of these stops, just to sort of say, hey, this block is a safe spot for a train to go through. And we might as well have a signal here as well, even though this one's not really used for anything. That'll be like it'll allow the train to basically go through the entire thing without ever having to... and we might as well... Actually, I don't want to do one here, because if we do one here, then you'll get a stacked train. I want all the stacked trains to just sit here. And this one to just be a free sort of ride to go around. If you do this, then one of the stacked trains that's waiting for one of these stations will go here, and wait for, say, this station, and another train will come in and will want to go to this station, and it won't be able to get there if these two are full. So we want to leave this one free, which means we don't want to put any signals on it. We do not want a train entering that except to go around to another one. So yeah, so this pink block should be, it just be one block, which it is, which is beautiful. So you've just got one block between this signal down here and this one up here, which is exactly what we want. Now these two are kind of in the middle of the block, and the pink block kind of becomes a leaving block as well as an arriving block because of the way these work, but it should be fine. All right. That I think is done. I think we're done here. So we got this one is beautiful. This one's only a 1-1. This one's only a 1-1. And these ones over here are 1-2s. So it's kind of all working great. Now I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to throw that over there because we don't actually want the belts in the blueprint, because the beautiful thing about this setup is that we can customize it however we want. So we can say this is, how many stations have we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11. We got 11 stations, which is beautiful. So we can have 10 input stations and 1 output station, or we can have 5 inputs and 5 outputs and blah, blah, blah. But we can do whatever we want here. Now, of course, an input station and an output station is going to be completely different in how they're set up. And yeah, well, it just made me realize this one is actually going to be a bit weird, because usually the belt will be coming in from the bottom, the back of the station, but in this case the belt will be going the other side. We'll have to deal with that a little bit later. Maybe we'll make different blueprints for that. Maybe we'll have the belts just thread around and go through here and up there or something like that. That's probably not a bad idea actually, but we'll worry about that later. We might upgrade this blueprint later. But for now, there's probably a few more signals we need to do. So let's do a couple there. And then let's do one here. And we'll do one here. And then we'll just do one here. And then you've got the chains to lead into the stations. And then over here, we've got this one here. Yeah, let's move that up there. And then let's move that one over there. And we don't need a chain here. It's whichever one it goes out in is fine. We don't really care. And that's it. That is our station blueprint. That is an absolute thing of beauty. So let's go ahead and copy it. So we're going to take this one and create a copy. Rail station. Oh, one thing I do before I do that, we got to name all of these. So this is going to be default. All of these are just going to be default. 9, 10, 11. I might actually ignore these two on the left when making actual things. Those will be emergency stations for when I'm really, really running low on stations. But it's nice to have them. Okay. All right. Rail station. Where's my... There we go. Train stop. Rail station. And we are going to use this station for absolutely everything. Maybe not mining. Mining, we may start doing other stuff with it. But, yeah, okay. So we're going to save that blueprint, and then we're going to right click and we're going to select new contents for the blueprint. And the reason we copy and then paste and do this stuff is because it automatically remembers all of these grid positions and grid sizes and blah, 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 blah. And all of this stuff is automatically remembered, which is a lot better than just creating a new blueprint, because then you have to type in all this stuff all over again. All right, save. So there we go. There's our station. It's a beautiful, beautiful station. But that's not even the best part. Okay, let me start working on the best part, because this is where your mind is really going to be blown. Oh, I forgot one thing that we need to include in this. One absolutely critical part. And if you've seen the title of the stream, then you already know what I'm talking about. We need to put a radar in here somewhere. Okay. And probably some power poles as well. So we need a power pole present in the right spot. So I'm going to put the power pole here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Long power pole there, and then 1, 2, 1, 2. All right. So we're setting up all these stations to basically, and we might as well do the same thing over here. Just for convenience sake. All right. And these guys all meet in the middle. And then we put a radar. Now, one of the things that some people may know, but some people may not know, and which I always forget, is that radars can actually be used to move signals around. So they're basically like global signal movers, global signal transmitters and receivers. And so I was originally planning on adding signals to the big power poles for every single rail blueprint. And then I remembered that radars are a thing. And we need to put radars in these blueprints somewhere, because obviously we need coverage. So I'm not sure exactly how big the coverage is for these radars. They're pretty big. That's not a radar. That's something else. Where are my radars? Okay, we just got regular sized radars. The regular sized radars are continuous coverage distance of 3. This one is 5. What I'm hoping is that we can just put a radar on the stations and that'll cover everything that needs to be covered. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but for now we'll put a radar. Actually, what we'll do is we'll try and put the radar closer to the middle of the blueprint. That's pretty much the middle. So let's try and squeeze it in nice and close. Okay. And we can put a thing here. And that'll give us the best middle coverage. And what we're going to do with these signals is we're basically going to have a central place in our base that basically just shows us the cover. It shows us the status of the entire train network. So let's go ahead and upgrade that blueprint with the new radar in it and all the wires. Beautiful. And let's start designing the train station, because this is going to be the really, really awesome bit. So okay, I'm going to have to do a little bit of stuff here, because the actual thing is going to be going down. All right. So this one is going to be picking up like there. Let me just put a train down so I can actually make sure. We need some engines and some steel plate. Am I actually making engines so far? I'm not sure if I am. Let's have a look. We got batteries, steel. This is the problem with not playing for a week. You forget what you actually did in the previous games. All right, we may have to make some I'd love it if I could just make them in my inventory, but I think that pretty much there is not a single mod in history that allows you to make engines just wherever you want. We might as well make them properly over here, since we are going to need to be automating trains. So what else do you need? Pipes and steel. And vertical, and then get some steel over here. We might as well just do we want to yank from this? Let's yank from this. Right. Here's what we can do. And we do this, and then we do output priority steel, and yes, we are getting a little bit spaghetti doing it like this, but it's not too bad. And anyway, this is not going to be my final base. And then we do it like that, and we end up with engines. You are supposed to be pipes. Iron pipes. There we go. Might as well put another inserter there. We don't need anything else. Okay. That'll give us engines eventually. And for my own sanity purposes, we'll just please filter that to be engines. And we'll come back in like 5-10 minutes and we'll pick up some engines and actually make a train. But for now we can make a cargo wagon. I've already got 2 in my inventory. And we also need something to... I don't think you can snap the cargo wagon without a train, is the problem. So if you put it there, and it kind of works. Pick up tile position. Pick up tile position. And it kind of snaps, but not really. So yeah, let's go ahead and... yeah. Well... Okay, that's good. That's very good. Okay, so... That would be problematic if we couldn't actually make that work, but... That's good. That even with the yellow ones, that still goes through. Alright. Now, the problem with these is going to be powering them. We can just leave a power pole here. And another power pole here. And we're covered. I'm tired of having these blinking lights everywhere, because we just haven't hooked this thing up to the actual power grid. So let's go ahead and do that. And that way I'll know if it's actually running out of power because I haven't hooked up the power cables, or if it's actually running out of power just because. Okay, you guys... once we get better inserter things, then they can go over here. We can also do a couple more inserters over here, like drop, and then pick up, and then yeah, we're gonna do some wacky stuff, to be honest. That'll be enough for now, just to throw in here, and because this is the thing, like we're gonna squeeze these guys together as hard as we can, and it's going to be kind of funky, but it is going to be awesome. Very, very awesome. All right, so let's get the actual logic out of the way, because usually I don't play offline, but in this case I did actually come back for a little while, and I did some practice, because I've never done programmable, parameterized blueprints before, so I wanted to really make sure that I knew what I was doing. Of course I didn't save any of that progress, but I did it, and it worked pretty well, and it was relatively easy, so yeah. So we're going to start off with an unload station, and we're going to see how we go here. And this is, I've been saying it for a little while, but this is going to be the coolest part. of the station, because basically we're going to have a parameterized station, and we can basically just drop it wherever we want and just say, okay, I want a station here, I want iron ore, this is how much I want of it. Boom, you put down the station, and then the trade network just automatically works, and you don't need to do anything else. All right, so let's go ahead and let's do the first few bits, and we're going to leave all these spaces free so we can put some more inserters there. Actually, I'm going to move this down a little bit. So we got 8 spaces for unloading inserters if we ever get inserters that are that crazy. All right, so let's go ahead, and it really would be better if we had some actual stuff in here to demonstrate how it's working. So I'm going to go ahead and just grab a whole bunch of iron ore from somewhere, or some amount of goods that we've got a lot of, and then we'll just dump it in onto the cargo wagons or the chest or something like that, and at least 40 stacks of something. That's going to take ages to get 40 stacks. Let's go iron plate. That's still going to take ages to get that stuff. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. There we go. Beautiful. Control C. That gets rid of. I shouldn't have picked up those iron plates, but whatever. We can go over here and start pressing Shift C to dump everything. Why are none of you guys accepting iron plates? Okay, that's most of my iron plates gone. That's all of them gone. What's using steel up here? Precious little, I'm guessing. Really? Batteries use... Since when do batteries use steel? Who decided that was going to be a thing? Anyway, we've got all the iron ore. I used iron ore in practice, so I guess that's why I chose iron ore, because there's just a ton of it, an absolute ton of it. Let's chuck that in there. A little bit gets put on the belt, that's fine. All right, so we've got 14k, which is about... Well, it is a lot. So we take the input, which we're just going to make iron ore, and we divide it by 200, which is its stack size, and then we output iron ore. Usually you would do something like each to make it generic, but trust me, when you do parameterized blueprints, you've got to do things a little bit differently. Now we're going to take this iron ore and we're going to divide it. That's not what I wanted to do. How did that happen? Oh, we're going to divide it by C. And C is going to be our magical global value that we're going to pipe in here. And C is basically going to be cargo wagon size. So we're actually going... We're going to set it up over here, actually, so that it can sort of be demonstrated as we're doing it. But we need one of these, and we'll just put it over here for now. We're going to have a special place for all of this stuff later, but yeah. I will put it on the red signal, I guess. C, and we're going to set C to be 40. So that is the size of the cargo wagon, and the reason we do that is because Bob's Angels has this. It has cargo wagon Mark II with 60 storage slots, cargo wagon Mark III with 80 storage slots. So we are going to get up into those 80 storage slots a lot later, And when we do, we do not want to have to go through and manually update every single one of these bloody things. So we can see we've already got C on the thing here, which is beautiful. Now we don't want, the red wire will also have an iron signal on it, so we don't want to pollute this iron input with the iron from over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab this one and we're going to say C times 1 output C. So basically that takes in all the red signals off the wire and just outputs C. And then we take that and we put that in there. And then we output iron ore. Okay. And that outputs 1 because we always remove the remainder. So it's basically saying that we have 1 train full of iron in here. But yeah. And a little bit extra, but we're not counting the extra. So, all right. The unloading station is actually the more complicated one, so maybe I shouldn't have started with that, but whatever, we're in it, we're going to finish it off. So, yeah, the unloading station, basically what we're going to do is we're going to put here and we're going to have a parameter S. And the S is how many stacks we want. So we're going to start off by setting this to 100. So this is the amount of stacks that we require in this silo. Now this has 256 spots, so we can technically do 256 stacks. At the end, we're going to have 80 size cargo wagons. So the maximum we ever want S to be is 256 minus 80, which is 176. Because we make it any higher than that, then the train is going to show up, it's going to unload, and it's going to get stuck there because this thing will be full. So, yeah, I'm going to set it to 100 for the most things, though, and we'll probably just leave it like that. And that's going to be fine. So we're going to do this like this, and we're going to put another arithmetic, and we're going to redo some of the wires here. So this one's going to go here, and then this one's going to go here. And so we're going to try and figure out how much we want. So this is how many stacks we've got. We've got 73 stacks, and we want 100. So, all right. So we're going to take S minus the iron ore, and we're going to output the iron ore. So we need 27 more stacks in order to reach our limit. That 27 now goes down to here, gets divided by the character size, comes out as 0. 0 iron. And then we're going to take the arithmetic calculator down here. We're going to take that and we're going to put in the station. So we're going to say our iron ore multiplied by 1, output that as L, and then we're going to set the train limit to L. So that basically says, okay, this is how many trains I want. So right now we've got enough. We don't want any more trains coming in, so our train limit is L. Now if we change this up to be, say, 200, suddenly we want 3 trains to come in, because we're at 73 stacks, but we want 200, that means we want 127 more stacks. 127 divided by 40 is 3, and suddenly we want blah. So that sets our train limit to 3. Now here's the really, really genius part of this plan. We're going to take the iron output and we're going to hook it up to this main common wire using the red signal. And now we've got a red signal of 3 iron in the network. And if we go back here, we can't actually see it because, but if we hook that up, we can see that we've now got a red signal of 3. Now, this means what we're going to do is we're going to say the red signals represent demand and the green signals represent supply. So right now we have a demand of 3 iron trains in the system. And if we have another few of these and they're all spitting out 3, they're all going to add up, and suddenly we're going to say, okay, we've got 3 different stations. Each one has a demand of 3 iron ore trains. Therefore, our demand of iron ore trains is going to be a total of 9. And then we can have a loading station, which we'll see later on, which will be putting green iron ore signals on. And we can say, all right, we've got a demand of 9 iron ore stations, and we've got 12. We've got a total of 12 trains worth of iron ore waiting that could be picked up. And we're going to have this huge display with all these little LEDs, and we're going to be able to see how much demand there is for this particular product, how much supply there is for this particular product, and it is just going to be on one screen. We're going to be able to see the entire status of our entire base. It's going to be awesome. All right, let's go ahead and let's get to the parameterized part of it. All right, iron ore, space, unload. This is an unload station. All right. We're going to leave the priority as normal. Yep. We will manually update the priority of some stations. I'm not sure if I'll make that part of the blueprint. I won't for now. I'll just manually update it when I need to update it. But yeah, we will update the parameters for some things. And I think that's pretty much it. So we'll do it like this. So this is a little bit tricky. So bear with me here while I do this. Okay, so we've got straight rails here. This is going to be station unload. Okay. I'm not sure what the correct. Let's just do a station U. And we're going to parameterize. All right. So this one is going to be the item that we want. We're also going to parameterize this using a formula. And this is going to be parameter. There's supposed to be a helpful tip that pops up here. Here we go. So we want the stack size of parameter n, which is 0. So P0 underscore S. Just ignore that warning. It doesn't really matter. Now we want S to also be a parameter, and we want this to be stacks required. And I think that's it. Now, of course, this is probably not good because we want it to default to 100. But anyway, so we do this. Yeah, it's not quite what I wanted. I wanted this to be a number. I got this to be a number before. All right, we're gonna have to mess with this a little bit. S of 100. Let's give this another crack. It probably got confused because it had a 200 here and it had a 200 for the stack size, and maybe that's what caused it. All right, let's go ahead, delete that. This is definitely the most complicated one. The loading one is a lot simpler. All right, now we've got 100, and so we're going to make this not S. We're going to make 100 stack size. We're going to make this item, and we're going to make this parameter. P0 underscore S. And I'm not sure if it really matters. We're going to drag item, stack size, and blah. So all of these, we're not going to worry about them, but we are going to do that. And then we're going to make that, and we're going to make that an unload station. the train stop names, and just to double check this parameter, yep, it says name blah unload in train. So it's definitely picked up that this is used in the train station name, which means that the train station name is now variable as well. Okay. Station unload. All right, beautiful. Now let's test this out. Beautiful. All right, so let's say we want copper ore here. Beautiful. All right. Unfortunately, we can't see what's actually happening here because we don't have enough of these bloody combinators, but... All right, so the station is definitely copper ore unload, which is nice. Once we get these combinators down, so this one will just have 0. We need 100. So that means we need 2 trains, which means L is 2, so that's there, and we now have a 2 putting into the actual thing, which is very nice. So we're going to Control Z, delete all that, and the 2 goes away. Ah. And we're going to do one more test, and let's just say calcium sulfite, and we want 150 of that. All right, so there we go. It's low 3. It needs 3 more trains of calcium sulfide. And the train stop is calcium sulfide unload. All right, that is what we call a very successful test. Beautiful. What am I still? There's so much stuff in Bob's Angels to research. No, we haven't got military yet. I'm pretty sure we don't have military yet. Did we? We never did that, did we? I mean, it's not hard. It requires... we've got everything there. But I'm not sure how necessary it is. Like, when you're playing with a mod, and you turn off all the biters, then it's kind of like... Ooh, a lot of this is unlocked behind silicon. Yeah, silicon. That's all right. That's okay. All right, let's get the load station done, and then we will be able to see how we go. So we're gonna start off with the unload station, and again, actually, let's just start messing with this one. So you are going to be load, iron ore load. Okay, I'd like it to be connected to that power pole. I really would, but it's just not. It's kind of a bit lame. All right, well, we don't need this one anymore. You are going to be basically doing the opposite of what you were currently doing, and then I guess it's not actually lined up properly. Yeah, well, we can probably afford a train now. Let me see if we can go up and get one. A bit more steel. Engines, that's definitely enough. And we'll actually, not that it matters too much at this point, but yeah, there we go. First locomotive at 12 hours and 45 minutes. I just want to make sure that Okay, you are locked. Built a locomotive. Okay, now they're all working. They're all working beautifully. And let's put it this way. These are basic inserters. We'll be able to get fast inserters, bulk inserters. There are like ultimate, like, here we go. Bulk inserter 4. Ultimate bulk inserter. This thing runs crazy fast. It's got a hand size that will be through the roof. Did I mention that there is infinite inserter hand size? This is actually not good. They're going to fill up the wagon. I don't actually want them to fill up the wagon because I want all the ore in here, but whatever. We need those inserters in. Well, now we know they work, so let's just get rid of that. Chuck the iron ore back in there, and now we can work on the actual thing. All right. So we got 74 stacks in here. We don't need this one anymore because that was doing the thingamy-bob. And this is cargo wagon, which we still need. And then if we just hook this one up to here, 74 divided by 40 is 1. And then there's 1 is L, and that becomes train limit of 1. And then you can see we've got a green 1 here. So that's absolutely beautiful. Now if I go ahead and remove all of the stuff from my inventory, we can see that changes to 0 and the train limit changes to 0. Now the train limit changes to 1 and the green wire changes to 1 as well. So we are pretty much, well, we still got to parameterize this one. Oh, I really don't like the fact that. Okay, you know what? I'm going to move this down slightly by 1. And of course, my robots are gone. Come on, robots. And then we don't actually need that power pole there, but we're going to do it here. And now it links. Now it links. So we got the power link that we were looking for. And we've still got room for the 8 inserters, and there's still, everything's still beautiful. Okay, beautiful. All right, let's go ahead and let's grab this. No, that's a bit too high. We don't want the curvy bit at the start. Okay. All right. Station. Where's my station? Load and parameterize. Of course, we're going to do this one, and we're going to do this one, and we're going to do parameter 0 underscore s, and that's it. We don't need anything. I don't think this ordering really matters, but we're going to do it anyway. We don't need anything else. We don't need a required amount. It's just, it is what it is. So now we put this anywhere we want, and it just automatically goes into the menu. So this one is going to be supplying crushed sapphirite. Here we go. Crushed sapphirite does go up to 200, doesn't it? I'm pretty sure it does. Yes. A lot of stuff in Bob's Angels just stacks up to 200 just by default. Which actually makes it really easy to build a base using 1-1 trains everywhere, because it's just nuts. It's just absolutely insane. So yeah, there we go. It's 200, and then we divide it by C, which is 40, and right. And that's good. We've got it hooked up to all of these, and everything is fantastic now. Everything is fantastic. We've got a station. We can load and unload whatever the hell we want in this station, and we can build whatever the hell we want. Now, I think, What do I do for all this iron ore now? Oh, God. I did not think about what we were going to do with the iron ore after we finished this process. But anyway, so we definitely need this somewhere in the base, because without this, the entire train network falls apart. We're going to put this here for now. And later on, when we have a central repository for everything, we are going to do it properly. We're going to have a centralized place. We're going to have, what is it? We have the little display counter for all of the things that we're going to do. So we're going to have a display for like iron ore showing everything, and copper ore and showing everything, and the demand and the supply and all that sort of stuff. But for now, let's grab the iron ore, let's move it off, and then we can delete this blueprint. And I'm pretty sure I have those blueprints, and I just chucked them in a chest. Okay, let's go ahead. Load and unload. We'll put them in there. Okay, blueprint book. And it's in here. I always get a little bit worried that if I like right click and delete it, that it's... Sometimes I think if I right click and delete it, it's going to stay fine. It's going to be beautiful. And then I actually do it and it's just gone forever. And I'm like, what happened? I suppose this is not a copy. This is just a link. This is just a link right here. So if I middle click it, the shortcut is gone, but it still exists. If I right click it and delete it, then I'm deleting the actual thing in the blueprint library, which is scary because I don't want to delete the actual thing. Let's have a quick look at the status of these guys, because, all right, you've got quite a lot. That's one of the dumps for extra copper. This one is still pretty empty, so that's fine. Iron is surprisingly backing up a fair bit, but it's fine. Silicon, 33k, 7.6k, 4.8k, 5.5k. They're not doing too badly. 100k is still a decent amount. This one's 89k. These guys are reasonably low. This one's not reasonably low. That one's completely full. Yeah, I guess maybe we should start processing that, because we're not really processing it, are we? And this one is pretty much just taking a full belt just from slag and throwing it away. But yeah, okay, well that's going to be a problem. That's actually going to be a problem pretty quickly. We should probably do something about that in this stream. I mean, with massive amounts of stone, you can convert it into stone bricks, but I really, like, we got 89k stone bricks, and stone bricks are not really all that useful. I mean, they might be more useful if we actually put them on the bus, but at this point it's basically becoming almost a meme that I just refuse to put stone bricks on the bus. So, whatever, we're just going to continue. I'm going to continue to not put them on the bus until we actually need them for something, and then I'm going to put them on the bus. But yeah, let's do a nice Shift-C, get rid of some extra crap out of my inventory. What we're going to do for the rest of the stream is probably actually do what we need to do to make it so that bots can actually create this stuff. Because we've created a bunch of really interesting blueprints, but we don't have the capability to actually build them at scale. So we've got roboports, rails, the power poles, fine. Stone brick, there we go. There we go, we need stone brick on the bus so we can put it in a chest so that the bots can build stuff on it. Because I definitely do like this little stone brick sort of border. It looks nice on the map, so I suppose we'll create it. So there we go. 10 seconds after I said I'm not going to create put stone bricks on the bus until we absolutely need to. We need to. So there we go. That's hilarious. Can I put stuff in my trash slot? There we go. Whoa, didn't mean to put that one in there, but yeah. Okay. I'm not sure when we actually unlocked the trash slot, but we've definitely unlocked it now. So we can put wood and coke and... I'm trying not to put anything important in there, like trees and stuff like that, because trees will probably... Where are my bots gone? Well, I didn't put my bots in the trash slot, did I? They've all gone on holiday. They've literally... All my bots went on holiday. No, they're all in my inventory. What's going on, guys? Come on. Bloody bots. You know what? I'm gonna put you guys in a chest. I'm gonna take you back out. I mean, pre-Factorio 2.0, sometimes weird stuff like this would happen. I haven't seen it too much. It's like when the bots' queues get overloaded, they start doing weird stuff. But this is definitely not an overloaded queue. This is just bots. Just, I don't know what the hell they're doing. But I would like them to finish off. Ooh, okay. I'm gonna probably grab this stuff out of my trash now. I have so much crap in my inventory. It is absolutely nuts. All right. That. Why do I have mud in my inventory? That is just a question. Actually, we'll keep those. We might want to create something with them later on. All right. I wish that Alt showed what was in here if it only has one signal. That would be nice, but unfortunately it doesn't seem to. So what do we need to fully create this a bit more? See, my bots are working. They just didn't want to clean that stone up. Well, I'm not sure if we're actually going to start creating those blocks. I think we are, but the game is going to slow down a lot for a little while if we start doing that. We could start creating those blocks, or we could move on to... Is that all we got? Military science? Where's my blue science pack? Locked behind silicon, of course it is. Yeah, a part of me just wants to go straight into mega basing, straight into building those blocks, straight into making a big base. We're going to have to see about robots, though. We can actually make logistics robots and construction. Let's make construction robots now. And logistics robots we really won't need. I mean, we won't have requester chests, so logistics robots will just be mainly for filling up our inventory and taking away our trash, which is somewhat useful, but... Alright, here's the problem with these guys. First of all, plastic. Second of all, electric engines. Plastic. Oh. Okay, alright. This may be a severe blocker to our hope. Was it? Did they really require plastic? Let me just double check that, because plastic is a pain. Is a big pain. I don't want to have to deal with a big pain right now. Where are all these different components? Of course they're in a separate tab, because this game hates me. But, alright, here we go. Flying robot frame. And... Is these bloody little... Like, the tools are fine. The module case... Of course it's in a separate tab. Of course it's in a separate tab. Oh, that's it. I give up. Module case. Oh, look at that. It's used for modules and it requires a plastic bar. We can start to produce modules, but... Yeah, module contact... Silver? Really? Silver? Silver is like a late game metal. Why are you hitting me with... Well, we're not even making that. We don't even need to make that. And then ferric chloride, which probably requires fish or something. I don't know. Or crystal or some BS. But anyway, Why do robots require that? Who decided that bloody robots required a module case? Then you're introducing it, like the plastic is killing me. Like electric engine units, okay, require lubricant, which is a bit of, actually I think in Bob's it might be a lot of a pain. I may not have, yeah, lubricant. Let's double check this. Lubricant requires base mineral oil and residual gas. Oh God, don't tell me that. Oh, of course you can make it with fish oil. Why not? How bad is fish oil anyway? Raw fish oil, Factorio fish. Yeah, the problem is we have to... You have to get green algae, nutrient pump, artificial fish water, which actually isn't too bad. We can get saline water. Nutrient pulp is farming, and then green algae is not too bad. All right, I'm getting severely sidetracked at the moment. I'm getting severely sidetracked. Needs thermal water as well, which is you get from a fisher. All right, so let's forget about the fish for the moment. So base mineral oil. It might not be too bad. Red metal catalyst. Oh, we might even be able to just do this. Hydrogen you get from the air, or from water, or from both. Anyway, hydrogen, red metal catalyst. How do you make these? Again, 5 iron plate. All right, let's take a step back because this might actually be a thing, and it means I don't have to go through the whole petrochem mess. Maybe just a little bit. Copper, iron, metal catalyst. So we can do this. Create base mineral oil, but then I'm creating all this other crap as well, and coke and oh, I didn't even look at that. Yeah, that's blue science. All right, never mind. Never mind. We're probably going to be... it's a whole bunch of vegetable oil. Are you getting the sense that Bob's Angels is incredibly overly complicated? Because that's definitely what it is. All right, crude oil, base mineral oil, oil residues, fuel oil and naphtha. And we need residual gas, which you get from... Oh God, kill me. Kill me. I don't want to go into petrochem. I really don't want to go into petrochem. I thought we were so close to getting robots. I thought that was it. I thought we had it. I had this grand plan of getting robots and building the mega base and starting off strong. And I looked at it and I was like, we can do it all with red and green science. It's going to be fantastic. But I'm afraid my dreams have been shattered. Because the petrochem is... We can do a very dodgy build just to get a few robots out, and then we can start making the mega base proper. We could also start going for blue science, but I'm not sure I want this base to continue going for that. We may just have to do a really dodgy petrochem build, get a few robots out there, get them to work, and then we start building the proper mega base. All right. Let's back up a sec. Okay, assuming I can do a dodgy petrochem, we got some multi-phase oil over here. We got some natural gas over here. So we do have places that we can start using to do this stuff. If we decide we do it. I'm not sure if I'd want to jump into this early. Come on, bots, work with me here. Work with me here. Please, I'm begging you, bots. Just remove this stuff. It's really not that hard. I don't think there's a way to turn these guys off, anyway. There is a way to get rid of this manually, but I think you have to actually have some of it in your inventory. Maybe that's why the bots aren't doing it, because there's no actual stone brick in my inventory, and they work on the same sort of weird logic that I do. Because I can remove it by placing it and then right-clicking it. So maybe the bots work the same way. Let's see, we've got 199. Because, yeah, I can do this. And then I just right-click. And automatically. Okay, well, it doesn't appear the bots do work on that same way because they're still not picking it up. But whatever, we'll deal with that later. All right, let's have a look. So we've got all the buildings we need are pretty much good. We need stations as well, but they're dead easy to make. We need rail signals, which are dead easy to make. We already got row reports, radars level 2, dead easy to make. Combinators, blah, 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 dead easy to make. It's literally just the robots actually making the construction robots, which requires, like, it's this module case, is these electric engine units. Yeah. It's kind of a catch-22 because I really want to make a proper build for Petrochem, but I don't want to be... Well, here's the thing. I do have construction robots. I do have a lot of construction robots in my inventory. So technically we could start making the mega base without actually building robots. It would just take a bit longer and it wouldn't be as automated. But I don't know why I'm doing this. It makes me feel better. Shut up. It makes me feel better. Okay, there's too much on that tab. I think let's just do a dodgy Petrochem build. Get some plastic, get some lubricant. We can have a look at it anyway. And we might just be able to shove some out and just flare the hell out of whatever we don't need. All right, what do we got? We got like just over half an hour left in the stream. Let's get rid of some rails. Let's get rid of some, I don't know, there's so much crap in here. Let's get rid of those. Don't need the trains at the moment. Don't need the row reports. All right. 5 of those. 1, 2, 1, 2. We're gonna start to need all. We're gonna need clay bricks. Oh god, I hate clay bricks. Oh god. Why is this so painful? All I want is robots without going to blue science. Is that so much to ask? Is it really? I mean, well, presumably we can already make this stuff, like clay bricks. Clay bricks. We need... I'm going a little bit too over the top here. Maybe what we need to do is we need something reasonably simple that we can just work on for the rest of the stream. I think clay bricks is probably not a bad idea. We get some clay bricks going on and we send them on down the bus. And, well, let's have a look. I know approximately what we need for all of this petrochem stuff. Like, we'll need a steam cracker, we'll need an oil refinery, we'll need an oil and gas separator, we'll need a gas refinery. We'll need at least one of all of these sort of buildings. Probably a bunch of clarifiers and a bunch of flare stacks. It's not too painful. It's painful to make it properly with all the ratios and stuff like that and to actually get a decent amount of output. If you just need a little bit, it's not too painful. But yeah, it's a very complicated process. Like, you probably need like 8 different steps to get lubricant and 10 different steps to get plastic bars. And some of those steps will overlap and some of them won't. And maybe we'll need to just get multi-phase and that'll do it all. Or we might need to get some gas and we'll need to mix the gas and the oil in some way. Or maybe gas is used for the plastic and multi-phase is used. I think you can get plastic from either multi-phase or gas. Lubricant, I'm not so sure. I think lubricant might require, because it's base mineral oil, and I think you can only get that from the crude oil. Whereas the plastic, you get propene. Please don't tell me you have to do cracking. Well, we can do red metal catalyst to get propane. And then naphtha, which we get from here. That's not actually too bad. All right, so we might just be able to tap oil and get both of them. But yeah, definitely like this requires a steam cracker, and this one requires a steam cracker. And the steam crackers require bronze and clay brick. All right, let's just have a look. Clay brick, steel pipe we've got already. Steel pipe, clay brick, bronze. Advanced chemical. I don't think we need advanced chemical plants for anything. No. Synthesis. There's another way to get propane, and it produces residual gas that we need for lubricant. Isn't that just fun? It also uses a steam cracker. Okay. Oil refinery and steam crackers, I think, are the things that we definitely need. Oil refinery is just steel. So bronze and clay bricks. Yeah, so we'll get clay bricks set up. And we can put that on the bus. I feel like that's not too bad. Bronze. Bronze, I feel like we'll just make a little bit. Because I don't think we're going to need a lot of bronze going forward for making the mega base or anything like that. Well, eventually we will, but when at that point we can make a proper setup for bronze. And then we can actually have a train with bronze on it and all that sort of stuff. And we can start to maybe even make a mall, like a proper mall. Although to make a proper mall, you'd need logistics, proper logistics, which I have a feeling like proper logistics chests. Yeah, that is going to be locked behind blue and purple science. Oh, pink. I think that's pink science. Okay, so that's gonna take a while. All right, let's get clay anyway. Why am I going I'm going all the way over here because this is where I've got my washing plants already, but we can put water fill anywhere, so I think I should probably not walk all the way over here just randomly. I might need... Is that going to be enough water fill? Probably. Let's grab a little bit more anyway. Let's grab a bunch just to be on the safe side. There we go. That's a decent amount of water fill. Stereotype is running... I'm not sure how Stereotype is running low. I mean, why is... Alright, here's a question. Why is Stereotype even running? These should stop when it's 100k. To be fair, it's probably still running because we've got all these absolutely wonderful caches everywhere. And that's probably why iron is going over the top, because... You know what? This really shouldn't be running with this much copper in the system. This really shouldn't be running. Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and fix this up a little bit. All right. Here's an easy way to fix this. All right. Give me some more power poles, please. Alright, so you are capable of 768. So you're at 72 at the moment, and you're about halfway. So I'm just trying to do the math in my head. 768 slots times 200 is approximately 140,000. Sorry. All right. So let's just say this guy is enabled if copper ore is greater than 120,000. All right. And same thing over there. So only when this guy gets above 120k will this be a problem. And that will basically back up these, because these will only start inserting, keep inserting this less than 100. This will back this up. This will shut down, and this will stop adding extra iron ore into this thing, and this thing has already got a very decent amount into it. Yeah. Yes. Because yeah, the two main ones are already stopped. Okay, that's a pretty good idea. All right, well that'll fix that one over time. Okay, we got plenty of water fill, so now we can go and make whatever we need wherever we want. And I'm going to continue on my everlasting quest to remove the little exclamation mark from all of these guys. Because that is the ultimate goal of this playthrough. It's not to actually make anything. It's to research everything and then mouse over all of the little exclamation marks until they all go away. Okay. Because there's just something about this that just really... Oh, it had to be every single icon in there, didn't it? It just had to be. Alright. Clay brick setup. Let's ignore the little icons for a little while. Hydro plant 1. Give me some of that. Wait, do we even need a no, we need the washing plants. Thank you very much. We need an offshore pump. The hell is a groundwater bore? I think that requires a specific location to get that. And the seafloor pump, which of course is not on this tab for reasons unknown. Where is it? Oh, it is. It was on that tab. Was it? Oh, it's right over here. I just couldn't see it. All right. So we'll do it. We'll do it up here a little bit. Again, this base is not exactly going to be taking us a lot further. We're just going to sort of band-aid this base until we can really get stuck into the mega base. And this base's main job right now is going to be to build the mega base, to provide everything we need to provide the mega base. Like, we got 2 full belts of iron. I don't think that's a full belt of steel, but it's pretty decent. So it should be able to slowly build up what we need. Alright. We're going to need some coal up here as well. Horizontal. There we go. So I think we need all of these. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I always just make all 5 just to be safe. Alright, and then we make a nice little pond. Oh, somebody updated this mod so you couldn't put water underneath yourself. There used to be a problem with other people playing this where they would kill themselves by putting the water directly underneath themselves. So it's probably a good thing that they updated the mod so you couldn't do that anymore. I mean, slightly less hilarious, but still definitely good. 3, 4, 5, and then this produces saline water. I'm not sure if we actually require saline water for anything, but okay. I think we need a bunch more of these guys, which of course requires more resources that I don't have. Although, stone bricks, there. one. And of course, there's some iron required. Okay. So what do we actually need to make clay bricks? Because, of course, they're not on this tab. That would be too easy. Lime, clay, and sand. Right. This mod is killing me because it requires lime. This produces limestone. Okay, lime and limestone is not the same thing. Lime is made from limestone and also produces carbon dioxide using a blast furnace. It's not confusing in the slightest. We can make one, but I think we need a couple more. Do we need a couple more? Let's make another one. I'm sure there's a bunch lying around in chests somewhere, but all right. Concentrated mud water. God, which one is that? Which one's the concentrated mud water? No, I want the power pole on the other side. Thank you. So I'm not blocking my own pipes. Go. No. Do that, do that, do that. All right. So we got heavy, concentrated, light, thin. Heavy, concentrated, light, thin. You're quite concentrated, so you stay right where you are. Light, and you right thin, so you get to go over here. Alright, so we need some more of these pipe things. Okay. And then we need to get this going right here. Beautiful, just beautiful. You're making that, you're making that, you're making that. Excellent. And then you need to be converted, don't you? You need to be converted in a blast furnace. It's very annoying that the one that needs to be converted is the one that happens to be in the middle. Right, let's get some coal going up there. That'll be the 3 that we need, and then it was over here, wasn't it? And if there's no machine listed, then it just requires an assembly machine. Oh, I think we just used one of these. You know what? I can't be bothered getting a more expensive one. Let's just get this. And then we do... Is it... Okay, that's lime. It's not actually that, is it? It's just a regular, standard old smelter. Which for some reason... Okay, there we go. Might as well get a steel furnace, why not? We can afford to get a steel furnace. Okay. And then that will be our clay bricks. Now let us go find something burnable. It doesn't necessarily have to be coal. It just has to be burnable. We could use wood. You know what? I'm gonna I'm going to go ahead and get carbon. Might as well use some carbon. There we go. And Bob's your uncle. Alright. So that should give us some nice clay bricks. And now we can start making all of the crazy petrochem buildings. Let's just do a quick little check. Make sure that it actually works. It does produce a lot of this stuff fairly quickly. Like, we got a full belt of all of those already. Of course it wants me to set the recipe. Thankfully, I don't think this one needs a recipe set. Unlike in Factorio, we have to select the recipe on all of these guys. All the smelters and stuff need the recipe set. I've actually started playing Factorio just offline. I'm playing Factorio and space exploration just together, just because I needed. I was going through a very rough part of my life, and I decided, you know, I'll play some Factorio to de-stress a bit. We'll see how that goes long term, but yeah, I'm going to move into my new house in a couple of weeks. The settlement is happening in a couple of days, and yeah, we'll see. After I get into that, I might move on to something else. I'll still stream Factorio every Sunday for 2 hours, but I may not play outside that period anymore. We'll have to see how it goes. But yeah, as soon as I get into my new place, I got a new computer as well. It's an absolute beast. There is not going to be any limit to the mega bases we can build with this new computer. It's going to be awesome. But anyway, I'm going to let that run. It's pretty much just getting resources out of the ground using a little bit of carbon, so I don't really want to constrain this at all. Bronze is the other thing that we need a fair bit of. Like, this requires... We're going to need a few steam crackers, and so we're going to have to set up a bit more of a stable bronze build. I'm not sure if we won't actually want it on the bus. We may just have it in a chest somewhere, but it's going to need to be a decent amount of it. And yeah, I'm definitely... The only things that I actually want in good supply are the things that we're going to be making in great supply. Having said that, let's have a look over here. So this one requires clay bricks and steel and steel. So this one's fine because we've got clay bricks at a decent rate now. And we are actually going to be moving on to a different way in the new base. For example, I'm going to set up bronze, and then I'm going to sort of explain it a little bit as I go on, because what you can do right now, we're getting iron ore by doing this. You get 2 iron ore out of 4 crushed sapphirite, and you get some extra cap on the side. You can do this as well. You combine 2 crushed sapphirite, 2 crushed givelite, which is a yellow thing, which is basically just another thing you've got to mine, and a mineral catalyst, which is a lot of fun, and you just get ore, iron ore by itself. So there's no slag on the side, there's no copper ore on the side, you just get pure iron ore. And there's a recipe for copper to do that, lead ore, and tin ore to do that. Why this is called galena, I have no idea. I didn't realize lead ore was Russian. Hopefully I'm... it seems like a Russian word. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little bit racist there, but whatever. Yeah, but we haven't found white yet, but once you get white and yellow, you can get these 4 pure, which is going to be pretty awesome. So we're going to aim for that at some point. And that's what we're going to be building in our mega base. We're not going to be doing this at all in the mega base. We're going to be jumping straight into this. Mineral catalyst is not too hard. It requires mineral sludge. There's this whole chain. It basically comes down to either slag or crushed stone, a little bit of sulfuric acid. And so sulfuric acid is going to become more of a main part of our build, but we'll explain that in a bit more detail later. Next episode, we'll probably do a little bit of petrochem, and then we're going to work on building the first few stations, I think. Probably mineral catalyst may even be the first station that we build, I'm not sure. But I'm getting distracted here. And my phone is getting funky. Can I find bronze without having to search for it? That's the real question. Here it is, down here, bronze plate. I'm not confusing it with brass, am I? I've done that so many times. Brass is copper and zinc. All right, bronze is just copper and tin, or copper, nickel, and tin. All right. Let's go ahead and just do a little build here. All right. Of course, I don't have one of those in my inventory. That would make things too easy. Induction furnace. Give me some iron. And then these are the same machine, right? They look different. Right. Let's just tap one on the end here. Tap, 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 tappity tap. Alright, you're going to be making some bronze. It requires 4.5 bronze per second. We're doing about half that in, so we're probably going to be getting about 30. So let's just get 3 of these machines in. And a bunch of pipes. And I actually had 2 of those in my inventory. How's that? And we're going to have some fun with Bob's inserters. I can't select that bit. I want to select that bit, but it's not letting me. Right, well, we can... You know what? We'll just use this trick. So this one drops one right. 480. Right, and you guys are going to be bronze, please. Alright. And that gives us a chest, which I do not want. You know what? Let's not do anything that silly if we don't have to. Let's just go like this. I don't think we're going to need more than one chest for what we're doing. I could put a warehouse here, but it's probably overkill. I mean, we just need a bunch of, a bunch of steam crackers. They take 42 bronze each, so yeah, that should be fine. So we're pretty much done. We're just doing little odds and ends here to make sure that we can start off strong. Well, I say strong. We can start off with some incredibly hacky petrochem at the start of the next stream, and all we want the petrochem for is to get us a few robots so we can start having the proper mega base. So we can start actually, you know, being able to put down a block of rails or a station or something like that and actually have it work. And that is pretty much it. Yeah, all right, that's that's a lot of icons. I did the best I could. All right, 200. That should give me a bunch of these. Look, yellow is the basic ones. The steam crackers don't even have yellow versions. They just go straight to red. That's how annoying they are. Okay. Let's just spend the rest of this stream trying to double check that we're not missing anything, because we always miss. I missed that robot stuff. Like, I missed. Let's have a look at what we need. So you can see the instructions down the bottom for what it actually needs. Maybe we'll put stone brick on the bus for this episode. Maybe that's how we'll finish it off. We only got 10 minutes, but I reckon I can do it in 10 minutes. I know it's a gargantuan task that I've been avoiding for a very long time, but... Okay, what's going on here? What's happening? Oh, duh. Yeah, that's my bad. And this is probably my bad as well. What do we do with this mud? What do you do with mud? I think there's some way of turning it into a landfill. Not that we need landfill, but you can turn it into viscous mud water, which is what this one actually produces. Unfortunately, I didn't leave a spot. Maybe I should leave a spot. I could put some landfill and then move this back a little bit. It's not even in this machine. Whatever. I don't care enough. There we go. That's not going to fill up for a while. And then we just need a clarifier for this saline water. Yeah, I don't think we need any of this stuff. I was thinking we could put a top-up valve, but I'm not sure if this mod actually has top-up valves in it. It may not. Okay. There we go. Alright, beautiful. We are no longer backing up. Anything is fantastic. Oh, yes, I forgot about that as well. Always forgetting about something. Where's our flare stacks? Where's our flare stacks? I know I built like 10 of the bloody things. I just can't find them anymore. Maybe I dumped them in a chest somewhere. Oh, bloody oath. Bloody oath. This game, it just does my head in. Alright, there we go. That's all that carbon done. Clay bricks. We can build one steam cracker. There we go. We have done good. Alright. It is time. And I'm going to make sure I pick up belts because we are going to need them. Where's my mole? Is this mole or is this green science? I can't tell. They look so similar. Alright, here's... No, those are crap belts. I want the good stuff. 31 undergrounds should be enough. We'll grab another couple just to be safe. There we go. Alrighty, let's have another look. I really should get night vision goggles. I think I had a look at them, and I think... Yeah, they're trapped behind silicon. Bloody solar panels are trapped behind silicon as well. And advanced circuits. I don't think... Are we making advanced circuits? I don't think we are. I think advanced circuits requires petroleum goods and all that sort of crap. Right. Okay, that did not quite work. Right. We go through... Actually, I don't think we need to go through the maze. We can just go over the maze. We can just go over it. There's a whole bunch of bobmonium here that we're blatantly building on, but I'm not sure if we'll ever end up using that. And unless we get to the point where we tear down this entire starter base, and then we might end up using it. Okay, but here we go. Finally putting this stuff on the bus. Oops, wrong one. There we go. Stone bricks finally on the bus. While we're up here, stone. This is on the very edge of falling down. I don't really want to turn it into stone bricks because we're going to solve a problem here with a problem up there. That's not really a good idea to do. So we're going to do what we always do when we have too much stone. Well, we could do a few things. We could turn it into some sort of liquid and then just clarify it. Something like that. Or what we'll probably do is we'll just turn it into landfill and put it in a warehouse. Which is one of the best ways to get rid of stone. Yeah, you can turn it into liquid sometimes. Or you can turn crushed stone into liquids, and that's actually the way that you get those mineral catalysts that we mentioned before. These guys, mineral sludge, you get mineral sludge from slag slurry, which the recipe is probably on another tab because of course it is. And then you get the slag slurry from either slag or crushed stone mixed in a little bit of sulfuric acid. Okay, alright. Okay. Output priority left. Boom, boom. Alright, we're at 153, so this is only enabled if stone is greater than 150,000. Alright. Probably won't be able to support this many anyway, because, I mean, 50 stone per second. Yeah. That's probably way too many. Okay. And then we build a warehouse. And then we do that. Have I got better inserters? Fast inserters. Of course they use bronze plate. Of course they do. I mean, why wouldn't they? Fast bulk inserters. It doesn't matter. These 9 inserters are outpacing my poor yellow belt anyway, so it's all good. Alright. Well, that'll eventually clear out. Hopefully. I mean, it'll take a while, but eventually these guys will be cleared out, and I kind of want to make another warehouse. I kind of want to make like a few warehouses. Just all landfill, just so we don't ever have to worry about stone again. We've got 99k worth of slag in here, so I feel like we don't have to worry about stone bricks because the slag is taking care of it. So yeah, I'm happy to just take this all and put it all into a warehouse. Alright. Okay. And look at this one robot just trying to get things done. Alright. We are pretty much, well, we finished the stream on a pretty good place. We've set up the foundations for what is going to be an exceptional mega base going forward. I mean, you look at this and you just go to the map view and you start chucking it down these, and just imagine a group of these blueprints stretching as far as the eye can see. And yeah, I know city blocks are not a new thing. I know they've been done quite a lot before, but they have been done by me once, but not in a stream. And in that case, I wasn't snapping them to the grid, and I just had basically, it was like a rail square. So instead of being like a modular thing, it was basically just like a big box that had rails on all 4 sides and it was a 2-lane thing, and they had like a little X on each corner, a little roundabout on each corner, and then it had 8 stations, 2 on each edge of the square. And it was and there was no buffering stations or anything like that. It was just crap. And your bots are still not doing this. He's still not doing this. Like, if the bots are not going to do this, then I'm just going to have to do this, because I just can't deal with this crap being left here. And that's how we're going to finish the stream. We're going to clean up this stone brick. The stream is not going to end until this stone brick is all gone, because it just can't. We can't end the stream while this crap is just lying around there, and my lazy little bots are just not doing anything to help out at this point. It is just an absolute travesty. So yeah, next stream, what are we doing next stream? It is going to be a quick hacky little petrochem to get the robots working, and then we are going to be working on full mega base related stuff, which is going to involve probably the first thing we're going to do is we're going to be playing around with those mineral catalysts. Are we done? I think we're done. Going to be playing around with those mineral catalysts, which I can actually show you a little bit better here, because they're all in the same recipe. So you get a mineral sludge here from purified water and slag slurry and a little bit of coal, and it actually spits out sulfuric wastewater, and then you get the slag slurry from either slag or crushed stone and a little bit of sulfuric acid. So it becomes a very interesting problem, because it takes in sulfuric acid and it spits out sulfuric wastewater. And so we're going to have to do a bit of math to figure out, do we need extra sulfuric acid in, or is it actually going to overproduce sulfuric acid, in which case we've got our output station, which will make high priority so it doesn't back up the process, and all sorts of fun stuff. But we'll get into that hopefully next stream. We should have time. But for now, we are pretty much done. Thank you very much for watching this stream. I do hope you enjoyed it, and I will catch you guys later.